There's been another explosion at Japan's Fukushima nuclear power plant, and the cooling system for a second reactor is now failing. The crisis forcing the U.S. to re-examine its own nuclear energy policy. Let's listen.
I don't want to stop the building of nuclear power plants, but I think we've got to kind of quickly put the brakes on until we can absorb what has happened in Japan as a result of the earthquake and the tsunami.
I don't think right after a major environmental catastrophe is a very good time to be making American domestic policy.
Well, who's right? Because Joe Lieberman was a big supporter. Joining us now for a fair and balanced debate. You're looking at him, Alex Flint and Robert Wiener. Alex is a Vice President of Governmental Affairs, Nuclear Energy Institute, and a former staff director of the U.S. Senate Committee. And Mr. Wiener's a public affairs and issues strategist and president of the Robert Wiener Associates. Robert, for you, who makes the most sense there?
Well, a little bit of substance, too. I was the spokesman for the House Government Operations Committee, and I know that Alex has his Hill background. But what Senator McConnell said is absolutely ludicrous. We had this big disaster in Japan, but don't pay any attention to it. Don't slow down. Don't learn from it. And I just can't believe it. I think what Ed Markey said makes a lot of sense, that the nuclear plants in the United States, a lot of them are built on fault lines in both the West Coast and the East Coast. And when you look at the fact that there are 104 nuclear plants in the United States, and we're having explosion after explosion in Japan, a high-tech, first-world country,
Robert,
we better slow down a bit.
You have to take a deep breath, too. Alex, weigh in. What Mitch McConnell's saying is take a deep breath during the middle of a crisis might, by the way, do have a rational thought.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, the first thing we have to understand is exactly what happened. Is anything that happened over there applicable to what we have in the United States? We've got to learn our lessons so we can apply them here. I suspect that we're going to learn some very valuable lessons, but that what we're going to find is that plants in the United States, between their physical characteristics and the way we operate and regulate them, are going to be able to address the challenges that we face going forward.
Robert, which is kind of interesting, too, is that France is 80% powered by nuclear energy, a third in Japan, and we're building 4 to 8 in the next few years. So this is not a Republican or Democrat issue. It's time for clear thought.
That's right, but we're not going to be able to face the challenges. I mean, I'm delighted at the substance of Alex, except that he does represent the nuclear industry. And when Senator Lieberman says that our plants are modernized to the worst earthquake that has occurred, Japan had never faced an 8.9. Our East Coast has only had little earthquakes. So if that's how modernized our plants are, I don't feel very secure. And I think this is time, as Alex said, I think we have a consensus here to take a deep breath, to take a look at what's going on, to learn from the lessons, and to make sure that we are safe in the United States.
And we're going to take a deep breath now. We'll have you both back to debate this later in the week, because we're going to find out more and more facts and hopefully get a hold of what's happening over in Japan. Those were built 40 years ago. Alex Flint, Robert Wiener, great job.